NFL top teams heading into week 17. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a wild time to be doing this because of the holidays, because of there's games on every day. Weeks are overlapping. There were games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. Then we're having games on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's out of control. Throw Christmas in there. So difficult time to be doing this, but we are going to do it. We have 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left of these. This was last week's Bills, Eagles, Lions, Ravens, Vikings, Chiefs, Broncos, Packers, Steelers, Texans. Now, obviously, there's going to be a tremendous amount of shakeup. This is the new top 10. Now, let me explain a few things here. Philadelphia is the big one. When there is an injury, I take that into account. So if Kenny Pickett or God help the Eagles, Ian Book, if they are starting, they're nowhere near the second team. Now, they lost to the Commanders, so I would drop them anyways, but I dropped them even further. Now, the reason they're still in the top 10 is because Jalen Hurts could play, so I can't drop them totally out, but it's kind of a hedge situation. If Hurts does play, and if he's playing in the last week of the season or whatever, they'll be moved up, obviously. So that's an injury situation, so I wanted to clear that one up. All right. So let's look at the other situations here. Detroit goes back to number 1 after Buffalo barely squeaks by the Patriots. Bad performance, but also because I usually don't knock a team for winning, regardless of the win. But then I heard that Josh Allen has been playing with a broken hand. So if he's pseudo banged up, along with not a great win, we drop them to 2. Detroit, good stuff. Go to 1. Baltimore, huge win against the Texans. Disgusting performance from Houston. Man, CJ Stroud is really taking a step back this year. Just, ladies and gentlemen, remember, when you are anointing players after 1 year, an MVP or a team, an AFC champion level team, like, be careful, okay? Be careful. I'm not saying CJ Stroud is Mac Jones, but be very careful before you say, all right, well, this guy's an MVP, or all right, I've seen enough. And I mean, Stroud has just been really bad. And it's not just, like, a lot of people are blaming this on Slowick or blaming this on whoever, but Stroud himself has been bad. Like, he's left a lot on the field. He has really struggled this year. They absolutely have to get a better offensive line. Nico Collins being down at times, Tank Dell being down at times has impacted Stroud. But yeah, I mean, they got some work to do over there in Houston. But the Ravens take advantage of that. The Ravens look fantastic. Lamar is out of control right now. Him and Josh Allen are neck and neck for the MVP. I think Josh Allen, if you look at some of the underlying analytics, I think Allen is a tiny baby bit above Lamar right now. But, I mean, flip a coin. Either one of these guys could be the MVP. Lamar's playing right now as we sit here. He's playing better than probably anybody on the planet. So we'll see what happens the last couple of years or last couple of weeks. But yeah, Lamar is playing nuts. I think Baltimore, I like Baltimore as far as a team. I just don't think they're built. Their defense has to get better. Their pass defense has to get better if they want to really make a run in the playoffs, because a lot of the teams they'll be facing are going to do that. A lot of the teams they're facing are going to huck it around. Let's go ahead and just look real quick at DVOA. We'll look at the total later, but I want to look at some of these defensive numbers and all of that because we're getting pretty close to the playoffs, and this stuff matters. So, like so this is pass defense, okay? Pass defense, Baltimore is, where are they? Baltimore is 14th, all right? So, you're running the risk. You're running the risk there. Run defense, they're good, but 14 pass defense, they're going to have to prove that they can stop some of these teams through the air because they absolutely will be tested. All right, then we go Minnesota. Minnesota, good win against Seattle. Continued to impress. Minnesota is one of those teams where it's like, even I am, and I had them 4th, but even I am like, well, they can't win the NFC, or, well, they're not really a Super Bowl threat. But every week they continue to prove me wrong. So Minnesota might actually be a legitimate threat in the NFC. When you look at Philadelphia now injured, Detroit injured, maybe they are. Maybe Minnesota and Green Bay are more of threats to the NFC than I've been giving them credit for. We'll see. Kansas City, big win against Pittsburgh. Good performance. Think I saw where Kansas City is the first team. It's like if you look at the rest of the NFL, it's like a team, they haven't scored more than 31 points in a game, and the rest of the teams that haven't scored more than 30, they're like on average 2-15 or whatever, and Kansas City is 15-1. So it just goes to show you the winning culture. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. I don't think they're good. I mean, I honestly don't think Kansas City is very good, but I didn't think they were very good last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So it is what it is. We'll see. I don't know what to say. I don't think they're a 15-1 team, but they're 15-1. So what the hell do I know? If a team finishes the season with one loss, it's hard to sit there and be like, they're not really that good. When at a certain point, you just got to kind of accept, like, okay, they're good. They're not flashy. They're not sexy. They're winning. Yeah, is it fun to watch on 3rd and 6 Travis Kelce go 6.125 yards and sit down and get a first down? No, it's not fun to watch, but it happens and it moves the chain. So it is what it is. Green Bay crucified the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football. Green Bay is a team that could absolutely make noise in the playoffs. They can beat you every way. As good as Lamar Jackson is playing, is as good as Matt LaFleur is coaching. Matt LaFleur is in his bag right now. In his bag. Green Bay is not a team you want to face in the first round, I'll tell you that much, especially if you have trouble stopping the run. If we go ahead and look right now at some of those teams, let's see, who are some playoff teams? Washington is 25th in the run. That ain't going to work. The Rams, 20th in the run. That ain't going to work. Let's see. A couple more NFC teams here. Detroit. Now, this is one. Okay, Detroit is 10th, which is all right. I mean, 10th in the run's okay. But, like, if you're Detroit, you don't want to see Green Bay. That's not what you want to do, right? So, Green Bay, tough draw to anybody. Philadelphia, we already talked about them. Bad loss against the Commanders. They were absolutely mauling the Commanders until Jalen Hurts got hurt. And, so if Philadelphia and Washington play fully healthy, I think Philadelphia wins 7 out of 10 times, something like that. I think they're a much better team than Washington. I think they're a horrible matchup for Washington. But take Jalen Hurts off the team, Philadelphia's not as good. That's not rocket science. Washington makes, so with a couple of teams falling out, Houston, Denver, a couple of teams have to come in. Pittsburgh also drops because they're lost to Kansas City. Washington enters the conversation. Big win against Philadelphia. They're still in play for the division, especially if Philly's hurt. So Washington enters at 8. The Chargers enter after beating the Broncos in a pretty convincing game, to be honest. And Harbaugh has been playing really well. I don't know what their ceiling is, but they have absolutely turned around the team, and they look good. They look good right now. So Los Angeles enters at 9. Pittsburgh falls to 10. Still a good team, but came back to earth a little bit against Kansas City. Tough loss at home to drop that game. Russ can confirm was not cooking. If we take a look at the game here, Pittsburgh gave up 6.7 yards per play. Cannot do that. Pittsburgh, really good defense, right? Really good defenses don't give up 6.7 yards per play, especially to a non-explosive offense like the Kansas City Chiefs. So Pittsburgh's got some stuff to figure out. I think Pittsburgh is good. I think Pittsburgh is a good team. 10-6, good defense, good offense, but this was a game where they just fell apart. They could do nothing. Like I said, Russie, 23 for 37, 205 with an interception. Ain't going to do it. Ran the ball pretty well, but, George Pickens has to be more involved. 7 targets, 3 catches. Nothing there. So, and then again, the defense giving up 7 yards per play. Pittsburgh is never going to win if that's going on. So this is the top 10. As we go into the last little bit of the season here, we're getting to the nitty-gritty, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to the playoffs and then, crowning a champion. As far as the honorable mentions, Rams, Seahawks, Broncos, Texans, Bengals, Bucks, Falcons, Dolphins, and then draw a line where none of these other teams matter. Saints, Giants, Bears, 49ers, Raiders, Cardinals, Patriots, Browns, Cowboys, Jets, Panthers, Titans, Colts, Jaguars. They are all horrible, really bad teams. They are not even worth ranking. But honorable mention probably goes to the Rams. After that, probably Seattle, but Seattle just had a stinker on Thursday night, even though they won. Just the Bears, laughable clock management at the end of the game. Really just game management, whether it was the decision for Caleb Williams to throw the ball deep when they're within field goal range, but then they decide not to kick the field goal and to go for it on 4th and 10. If you're going to go for, like, why when he's throwing the ball deep, why not throw it short, get more in the field goal range, kick field goal, go to overtime? What's going on here? But some of these teams are still alive. You know, like if you look at the standings, let's see here. If we go to the standings, you know, the Miami is still trying to make some noise. Mathematically, they're chilling. The Bengals, same thing, mathematically chilling. And then you have, you know, the Chargers and the Broncos. And then the NFC, we already talked about the Commanders. The North is decided, or the North isn't decided, but these teams are all playoff bound. We'll see what happens as far as winning the division. The South, Falcons or Bucks, they're chasing each other. The Falcons make a switch to Penix. 2 pick sixes against the Giants will do it to you. The Falcons have a big win. Still not sure how good Penix is. We'll see. But the Buccaneers drop a horrible game to the Cowboys. If the Bucks win that game, they're kind of rocking and rolling, but I can't lose that game. Bucks are kind of staggering here at the finish line. But good news for them is they play the Saints in the last game of the year, so that should be a free win. Then the NFC West is a race between the Rams and the Seahawks. 2 teams, very similar teams, good. Their best, like the Rams at their best and the Seahawks at their best, can probably beat anybody. I mean, the Rams beat the Bills in an absolute shootout. It's just they're so inconsistent. So inconsistent. I mean, the Rams have won 4 games in a row, beat the Bills, love the team, and they have a negative point differential. What's going on here? All right, so how is this happening? So they're a confusing squad, very confusing team for sure. But yeah, that's how we're shaping up right now. If we look at the playoffs, you can look at it right here. You can see the tiebreakers, all that stuff. Very exciting. I mean, this is going to be a great playoff. I think this is going to be a fantastic playoff because there's not a dominant team. Like the Chiefs are 15-1, and I don't think anybody would consider them a dominant team. You know, like when can you say that? When can you say the 15-1 team is arguably one of the weaker teams in the AFC? Not weaker, but Buffalo, Baltimore, for sure, you would say is better than Kansas City, right? So they're like a 15-1 team is arguably the 3rd best team in the conference. That is crazy. And then you go to the NFC, and you're looking at Green Bay is the 3rd. Green Bay is the 3rd team in their own division, yet they are one of the best teams in the NFL. Crazy year. So if every team was healthy, I think Buffalo is the best team in the AFC. I think Philly and Detroit are neck and neck in the NFC. I would give Detroit the lead there. I think Detroit's a little bit better when fully healthy, but they're not fully healthy. So it's going to be a good playoff. I would still be very surprised if it isn't Buffalo versus either Philadelphia or Detroit in the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. This is your new top 10. Lions 1, Bills 2, Ravens 3, Vikings 4, Chiefs 5, Packers 6, Eagles 7, Commanders 8, Chargers 9, Steelers 10. Again, the Eagles will shoot back up to that like 1, 2, 3 world, maybe 4, depending on the health of Jalen Hurts. The top 10 DVOA compared to how I have it. Let's go to team total DVOA. DVOA is, here we go. Number 1, Baltimore, 2, Detroit, 3, Green Bay, 4, Buffalo, 5, Philadelphia, 6, Minnesota, 7, Kansas City, 8, Washington 9, Denver 10, Pittsburgh. So they have the Chargers at 12, and I have them ranked. Besides that, I think it's pretty much the same. Pretty close there, actually. Let's see. Well, obviously, Baltimore, I have 3. They have 1. Detroit, I have 1. They have 2. Green Bay, I have 6. They have 3. Buffalo, I have 2. They have 4. Philadelphia, I have 7. They have 5. Minnesota, 6. I have 4. Washington, 8. I have 8. Chargers, 12. I have 9. Pittsburgh, 10. They have 10. So the biggest difference between mine and DVOA is Denver, right? Denver, 9. And I have unranked, I guess. So mine and DVOA is pretty damn similar. Pretty similar, which is always good. That tells me I'm on the right path here. If I have pretty similar to DVOA. So let me know in the comments below who you've got top 10, and I'll see you in the next video.